Canadians expect their governments to be capable of addressing the COVID issue and addressing other challenges at the same time. Canadians expect that their government will take important actions that are required to protect their environment, including the threats posed by pollution. Plastic pollution threatens our natural environment. It fills our rivers, our lakes, and most particularly our oceans, choking the wildlife that live there. Canadians see the impacts that pollution has from plastics and microplastics, even in the northernmost regions of this country. Today, the federal government published the final science assessment on plastic pollution. The science assessment found that plastic is causing significant harm to wildlife, particularly marine life, who often ingest plastic or become entangled in it. Microplastics are everywhere, in food, in bottled water, in tap water, both indoor and outdoor air. And the long-term potential health effects of microplastics are not yet clear. And the problem is getting worse. Action is needed to ensure plastic is kept out of our environment. Canadians throw away about 3 million tons of plastic waste every year, which is equal to 570 garbage bags full every minute, every day, and only 9% of that plastic is presently recycled. The rest goes to landfills or into our environment. Just last week, I met with a constituent named Randy. He was a group of marine operators who had just undertaken a marine debris cleanup on the northern coast of British Columbia. He said he's worked off the coast of Vancouver and the coast of British Columbia for 33 years, but he couldn't believe the amount of plastics that they collected on this expedition. In just a little over a month, they collected over 125 tons of plastic waste. Canadians like Randy expect their governments to take action to protect the natural environment by addressing the issue of plastic pollution. Les Canadiens jettent environ 3 millions de tonnes de plastique
throw approximately 3 million tons of plastic away per year, the equivalent of 570 filled garbage bags each minute, each day. Unfortunately, only 9% of this plastic is currently being recycled, while the rest ends up in our water and our environment. And this represents a loss of around $8 billion. We estimate that 29,000 tons of plastics pollutes
Previously,
the
federal government, working with the provinces and territories, had established the goal of zero plastic waste by 2030. Aujourd'hui, je suis heureux d'annoncer
notre our approach to reach the objectives of zero plastic waste by 2030, a plan to keep plastic in our environment, in our economy, but not our environment.
Our government's approach to achieve zero plastic waste in Canada by 2030, a plan to keep plastic in our economy and out of our environment. This is a comprehensive approach that looks directly to address the most harmful single-use plastics while improving the way that we manage other plastics throughout their life cycle. Today, we are releasing a discussion paper relating to the government's plan to address plastic pollution. One important part of this plan is a ban on harmful single-use plastics that have 3 key characteristics. They are harmful in the environment, they are difficult or costly to recycle, and there are readily available alternatives. The proposed ban will address plastic checkout bags, straws, stir sticks, six-pack rings, cutlery, and foodware made from hard-to-recycle plastics, particularly expanded polystyrene. Regulations with respect to this ban will be finalized by the end of 2021. When a ban comes into effect, your local stores will be providing you with alternatives to these plastic products, like reusable or plastic bags, paper bags in place of plastic. Un élément clé de notre plan est l'interdiction des plastiques
single-use plastic, which is spread out in our environment, difficult to recycle, and for which there are alternatives. For example, plastic bags, stir sticks, straws, utensils, and difficult to recycle plastics.
Beyond a ban on these specific items, we must ensure that we are moving towards circularity with respect to the large number of other plastic items we utilize in our day-to-day lives. I know it is presently hard to come back from the grocery store without a single-use plastic item, particularly around packaging on food. You use it, you throw it in the recycling bin, and more often than not, it ends up in a landfill. This has to change, which is why we will be working with grocers and industry leaders and with provinces and territories to keep more plastic in our economy through recycling. Certainly many leading firms, including companies like Canadian Tire, Loblaws, and Walmart, have made addressing plastic pollution a key focus of their sustainability efforts moving forward. Industry generally has been very much encouraging government this important issue. To ensure we keep much more of our plastic in the economy, we are proposing to develop regulations to establish higher standards for plastic products and packaging recyclable. This could include a minimum requirement of recycled content in new products and greater responsibility for producers and sellers to collect and recycle plastics. This will spur investment in recycling infrastructure, it will drive innovation in product design, and it will generate revenue. It will also reduce emissions and create up to 42,000 direct and indirect jobs across this country. In fact, Alberta's announcement yesterday of its aim to become a centre of excellence for recycling underlines precisely this opportunity. Personal protective equipment has been critical to keeping Canadians safe during the pandemic, particularly our frontline healthcare workers. I want to be clear, a ban on single-use plastics will not affect access to PPE or any other plastics used in the medical environment. However, we did discuss pollution considerations relating to PPE at the Canadian Council of Environment Ministers meeting earlier this summer, and we committed with the provinces and territories to working together and with industry to ensure that we can properly dispose of PPE so that it does not end up in our natural environment. We are also investigating solutions to recycle PPE where it is safe to do so, and at options to make some of the PPE biodegradable.